In Bulgaria, there is a phone number that has been associated with a strange and chilling pattern, and it has been suspended forever after a series of deaths involving its owners. The first owner of the number was Vladimir Grashnov, the CEO of the issuing company Mobitel. In 2001, he died of cancer, which was rumored to have been caused by a business rival using radioactive poisoning. The number was then taken up by a man named Konstantin Dimitrov, who was part of a mafia. He was killed in 2003 by an assassin in the Netherlands, where he had gone to inspect his 500 million worth drug empire. It's reported that he had the phone with him when he died. The assassin is said to have been hired by Russian mafias who were jealous of Dimitrov's success. The third man who took up the number was businessman Konstantin Dishliev, who was killed in 2005 in Sofia, Bulgaria's capital. He was reportedly running a cocaine trafficking operation. The case on his killing is still open. After Dishliev's death, the number was suspended and has remained so ever since. Whoever calls the number now hears the same message outside network coverage. The pattern associated with the phone number has left many people wondering if it's cursed. Is there something sinister at play, or is it just a series of eerie coincidences? There is no clear explanation, and the issuing company, Mobitel, has declined to comment on the matter. 3M force field. In the world of science, there are strange phenomena that seem like they belong in science fiction. One such incident occurred in a 3M adhesive tape factory in South Carolina during the summer of 1980. Workers encountered an invisible force field that created an impenetrable wall, blocking their way. When David Swenson of the 3M Electrical Specialties Division was called to investigate, he slammed into the same invisible wall. The force was strong enough to even suck in birds and was electrically charged, making it dangerous to humans. Experts explain the phenomenon by the phenomenon known as Coulomb's forces, or electrostatic force. This creates a tightly bound sheath of air molecules and charged particles that normally would be invisible, but on that day, the conditions were perfect for it to become visible. Despite numerous inquiries and attempts, the invisible wall has not been recreated, making it a bizarre example of unexplained phenomena that can occur in the world of science. Altamaha-ha. The Altamaha-ha, or Alti, is a legendary creature in Georgia folklore. It is said to inhabit the small streams and abandoned rice fields near the mouth of the Altamaha River in southeastern Georgia, with sightings reported in McIntosh County. The legend has its roots in Muskogee tradition, and some believe that an alligator gar could be the creature behind recent sightings. In 2018, decomposing remains found on a beach sparked speculation that they could be the body of an Altamaha-ha, but performance artist Zardulu later claimed responsibility for creating the remains out of a stuffed shark and papier-mâché. Despite this, the mystery of the Alti lives on in the Georgia folklore. Bear Lake Sea Monster. The Bear Lake Monster is a creature that allegedly inhabits the waters near Bear Lake on the Utah-Idaho border. The myth began in the 19th century, with reports of sightings by Mormon settler Joseph C. Rich, although he later recanted his stories. Descriptions of the creature vary, but it is said to resemble a serpent with legs, spikes along its spine, and a head that has been compared to a cow, otter, crocodile, or walrus. Sightings of the monster continued over the years, and the last one was reported in 2002. The creature has become a tourist attraction, and a Bear Lake monster boat, shaped like the monster, offers scenic cruises with folklore storytelling. The creature is considered a part of local folklore and has been jokingly celebrated in various ways, such as filling a float with children labeled as the real Bear Lake monsters. Black Stick Men Phenomena. The Black Stick Men, a bizarre and unnerving phenomenon that has been scaring people all around the world. These two-dimensional stick figures, between 7 to 12 feet tall and incredibly thin, are devoid of any noticeable features, almost as if they were crudely drawn stick figures that came to life and stepped off the page. Reports say that their movements are very smooth, but also very unnatural, and they become almost invisible when viewed from a certain angle. They are known to cause dizziness or tiredness in their presence, as well as a distinct sense of static charge in the air, and sometimes a sense of malevolence. Although they are not known to be aggressive, Reports of feeling a sense of malevolence suggest that they may not have friendly intentions. Witnesses have reported that these entities are skittish and act almost surprised when they are seen, usually escaping by creeping off into the night and the darkness, or simply vanishing into thin air. They make no sound and have no shadow, unlike ghosts, and they are not linked to a certain location because of a tragic death or some sort of awful incident. They simply appear wherever they want to appear. While the phenomenon of black stick men has been relatively recent, some people believe that they are linked to ancient beings depicted in some cave drawings, which some groups believe are signs of ancient aliens or extra-dimensional travelers. The stick figures have yet to communicate with anybody in any way, not even a sound, and there has yet to be a recorded case of a stick person attacking someone. Despite the lack of physical harm reported, the stick men's presence can be extremely unsettling, leaving witnesses with a sense of unease and terror. Some witnesses have described feeling like they are being watched or followed, even when they are in their own homes. It is a bizarre and unexplained phenomenon that has puzzled and terrified people around the world, leaving many to wonder what exactly these black stick men are and where they come from. Boriska Kipriyanovich. Boriska Kipriyanovich, a young man from Russia, has claimed to be from Mars, leaving scientists and the public alike puzzled and curious about his extraordinary claims. Born in 1996, Boriska was an incredibly advanced child from a young age, with his mother claiming that he began speaking just a few months after he was born. By the age of 1.5, he could read, draw, and paint. In kindergarten, his teachers noted his exceptional writing skills and his ability to learn languages quickly, as well as his astonishing memory skills. Despite his parents not teaching him anything about space as a child, Boriska became fascinated with it, and the planet Mars in particular. He would spend hours talking to his parents about the red planet, and eventually began to claim that he was from Mars himself. According to media reports, Boriska has an impressive knowledge of planetary systems and space in general. Boriska claims that he has been sent to Earth on a mission to save humankind from a nuclear war that could lead to their destruction. He alleges that his own Martian race was virtually wiped out thousands of years ago due to nuclear warfare, and if humans do not change the situation relating to the nuclear power struggle, they will soon meet the same fate as the Martians. In addition, Boriska claims that he is not the only child from outer space on this mission. He has claimed that many other children like him have been sent on the same mission from outer space, and they are reincarnations of the Martian race and are called the Indigo Children. As per Boriska, there are a few more Martians who managed to survive the nuclear war and are still living on the Red Planet. According to Boriska, the Martians have incredible abilities and technology, such as interstellar travel and the ability to time travel. He claims that many Martians are immortals and stop aging at 35 years old. He remembers participating in air raids with his friends when he was 14 or 15 years old, and the Martians were waging wars. Although some reports claim that Boriska has an IQ of 200, there is no official confirmation of this. Boris would suddenly disappear from public view. While some people did not notice his disappearance, others believed he held valuable information and began to investigate his whereabouts. Some speculated he had grown tired of the attention and moved to a remote village with his mother. Although some of his predictions did not come true, his claims about the Great Pyramid were accurate. Some have lost faith in him since his disappearance, while others still believe in Indigo Children and the importance of their message. Bridgewater Triangle. The Bridgewater Triangle is a baffling enigma. This region of southeastern Massachusetts, covering about 200 square miles, 520 square kilometers, is a hotbed of alleged paranormal activity. From UFO sightings and poltergeists to orbs and balls of fire, there seems to be no end to the strange phenomena reported in this area. But the Bridgewater Triangle is not just home to your run-of-the-mill ghosts and aliens. No, this place is truly bizarre, boasting sightings of Bigfoot-like creatures, giant snakes, and thunderbirds with wingspans up to 12 feet. It's enough to make even the bravest of souls tremble in fear. And if that wasn't enough, there have also been reports of cult activity in the area, including instances of animal mutilation that are believed to be the work of a sinister group. Some locals even attribute the Bridgewater Triangle's otherworldly activity to a Native American curse stemming from conflict with colonial settlers. But perhaps the most intriguing creature said to inhabit the Bridgewater Triangle is the Pukwudgie, a mischievous and dangerous creature from Algonquian folklore. The Wampanoag people, native to the region, consider them to be powerful tricksters, capable of both helping and harming humans. In the Freetown State Forest, which falls within the Triangle's boundaries, these creatures are said to be particularly active. Clapham Wood Mystery. Clapham Wood, located in West Sussex, England, is a place of dark secrets and unexplained mysteries. For decades, reports of UFO sightings, satanic cult activity, and missing or sick pets have plagued this woodland area, leaving paranormal enthusiasts and Fortean authors in a state of perplexity. According to Nick Brownlow's article in the 14 Times magazine, sightings of unidentified flying objects and pets going missing or becoming ill in the area can be traced back to the 1960s. Other strange phenomena, such as sudden patches of gray mist and sensations of being pushed or followed, have also been reported in the woods. But perhaps the most chilling aspect of Clapham Wood is the number of deaths that have occurred there. Theories flourished about what could be causing the strange activity in Clapham Wood. Some suggest that the woods are used for satanic rituals by a cult known as the Friends of Hecate. Devil's Tramping Ground. The Devil's Tramping Ground is a camping spot in North Carolina, surrounded by legends and lore. It is said that the devil haunts a barren circle within the forest, and strange events occur to those who spend the night there. Dogs reportedly refuse to go near the circle, and nothing has grown there for 100 years. According to local legends, the devil walks in circles on certain nights, thinking of ways to bring evil into the world. Dighton Rock. Dighton Rock, a 40-ton boulder located in the riverbed of Taunton River, Massachusetts, boasts ancient petroglyphs of uncertain origin. The rock was relocated for preservation and is now on display at Dighton Rock State Park. The petroglyphs include lines, geometric shapes, people, and writing, both verified and not. Various theories have been proposed about the creators of these carvings, including indigenous peoples of North America, ancient Phoenicians, Norse, Portuguese, and even Chinese. While some legends suggest the markings are deeply cut, early reports indicate that they are not as prominent as previously believed. Nonetheless, the rock remains a curious and unsolved mystery, captivating visitors with its enigmatic carvings. Dream hacking. Dream hacking, also known as dream alteration or dream intrusion, is the process of engineering ads or ideas into our subconscious through audio and visual stimuli in order to influence our dreams. While dream hacking may seem like something out of a sci-fi movie, it is already being explored by marketers and scientists alike. One of the most bizarre aspects of dream hacking is the idea of targeted dream implantation, which involves encouraging people to watch videos or listen to specific soundscapes before going to bed. The goal is to create a subconscious urge to use a particular product or service, ultimately influencing real-world actions. But dream hacking isn't just limited to marketing gimmicks. Scientists are also exploring the potential of dream incubation for therapeutic and creative purposes, such as treating psychiatric conditions like depression and PTSD, and enhancing creativity. The possibilities of using dream hacking for good are vast, but there are ethical concerns that must be addressed. The idea of companies manipulating our dreams without our consent raises serious questions about privacy and consent. The thought of waking up to a product placement in our dreams is unsettling, to say the least. It also raises the question of whether or not dreams, which have been regarded as a private and personal experience, should be subjected to corporate intrusion. While dream hacking may still be in its early stages, it's clear that it has the potential to change our relationship with advertising and our subconscious minds. As technology advances and companies seek new ways to influence consumers, it's important that we address the ethical concerns surrounding dream hacking and ensure that our dreams remain a private and personal experience. Duhare Tribe. The discovery of the Duhare people and their mysterious origins has captivated the imaginations of many researchers and historians. Their striking appearance, with red or brown hair that hung to their heels, freckles, and gray eyes, set them apart from other native tribes in the South Carolina and Georgia regions. The fact that they were also noticeably taller than other natives and were skilled farmers and herders with domesticated deer further added to their intrigue. Some researchers have suggested that the Duhare people may have been of Irish origin, citing evidence such as their use of metal tools, their appearance, and the fact that several Gaelic tribes in Ireland and Scotland had domesticated dairy deer before dairy cows. The word Duhare can also be translated as place of the Irish in Gaelic, and some have even linked them to the legendary Irish monk Saint Brendan, who is said to have sailed to America in the 6th century. The discovery of the Duhare people has also raised questions about other tribes of red-haired giants that have been reported throughout America. The Paiute of Nevada speak of red-haired giants known as the Si-Te-Ka, while the Mandan tribe of North and South Dakota described natives with fair skin, red or blonde hair, and blue or gray eyes. Mummified remains of red-haired individuals have also been found in various locations across the United States, adding to the mystery of these ancient peoples. Enneagram Enlightenment. Enneagram Enlightenment is a way to become more aware of yourself and reach higher levels of consciousness using a system called the Enneagram. The Enneagram is a shape made up of 9 connected personality types that can help you understand your own behavior and motivations. Some people believe that by using the Enneagram, you can reach a state of spiritual awakening and enlightenment. There are different ways to do this, like meditating on your Enneagram type to understand yourself better or using it to explore parts of yourself that you might have ignored. However, not everyone agrees with the idea of Enneagram Enlightenment. Some say it's not backed up by science and isn't reliable, while others think that it's too simple and doesn't take into account the complexity of spiritual growth. Overall, the idea of Enneagram Enlightenment is still a mystery and controversial. Some people swear by it while others are skeptical. It remains an unsolved topic with no clear answers about its validity and effectiveness for spiritual growth. Esalen Institute. Founded in 1962 with the intention of exploring alternative methods for human consciousness, Esalen has since become a center for practices and beliefs that make up the New Age movement. The workshops at Esalen cover a wide range of topics, including personal growth, meditation, massage, yoga, psychology, ecology, spirituality, and organic food. But what draws visitors to this place is the bizarre and unexplained phenomena that have occurred here over the years. From encounters with strange energies to sightings of unexplained lights in the sky, Esalen has been a hotbed of paranormal activity. The hot springs, which are open only to guests, are said to have healing powers and have been the site of many unexplained events. The story of Esalen is full of bizarre and unsolved aspects, including the tragic death of founder Dick Price in a hiking accident in 1985. And in 2017, the Institute faced a major setback when it was cut off due to mudslides, forcing it to close its doors and lay off most of its staff. Despite the challenges, Esalen remains a place of wonder and intrigue, attracting visitors from around the world who seek to unlock the mysteries of human consciousness and potential. Falcon Lake Incident. The Falcon Lake Incident is one of the world's most documented UFO sightings, yet it remains a perplexing unsolved mystery to this day. In May 1967, Stefan Michalak, a Winnipeg industrial mechanic and amateur geologist, traveled to Falcon Lake to prospect for precious metals. While inspecting a quartz vein, Michalak was startled by the sounds of agitated geese and looked up to see 2 cigar-shaped objects hovering around 150 feet away from him. The objects emitted a reddish glow, and one of them landed on a nearby rocky platform, taking on a disc shape. Michalak sketched the object and attempted to find any identifying insignia but found none. The craft lacked seams and had a smooth metallic surface resembling colored glass. The landed craft was 34 feet in length and 15 feet in height, changing color between gray and red and emanating a golden glow. Michalak approached the craft and saw an open door on its side with bright lights. Within the craft, he heard muffled human-like voices and saw light beams and panels flashing various colors. The craft appeared empty, and as he walked away, 3 panels slid in to seal the craft. When he touched the craft, he found it so hot that the fingertips of his gloves melted. The craft then turned counterclockwise, revealing a panel with a grid of holes that emitted a blast of heated gas, which hit him in the chest, blew him backward, and set fire to his clothing. Mikolak suffered burns on his chest and stomach, with a grid-like pattern of raised sores appearing on his body. Mikolak continued to experience prolonged bouts of diarrhea, headaches, blackouts, and continued weight loss consistent with radiation poisoning. However, tests administered following the incident came up negative. Mikolak continued to suffer intermittent reappearances of his burns, and its effects would never fully subside by the time Mikolak died in 1999. Despite extensive investigations by various Canadian and American authorities, the case remains unsolved. Some skeptics suggest that Mikolak's burns were the result of an accident stemming from alcohol use or to dissuade competitors from prospecting in his site. However, anomalies including a circle of burned vegetation, highly radioactive elements within soil samples and clothing Mikolak had removed, and metal melted into cracks of rock exhibited high levels of radioactivity were uncovered at the site. Golden ratio. The golden ratio is a mathematical concept that compares the ratio of two quantities with the ratio of their sum to the larger quantity. This creates a constant value known as the golden ratio, which is approximately 1.618. The strange thing about the golden ratio is that it appears in many places in nature, such as the spiral patterns of shells and the arrangement of leaves on plants. Some artists and architects have even used the golden ratio to design their works because they believe it looks aesthetically pleasing. Despite being studied for centuries, the golden ratio still holds many mysteries. Mathematicians are still trying to understand its properties and why it appears in so many natural phenomena. Some people even believe that the golden ratio has mystical properties or a deeper meaning beyond its mathematical significance. Bob Hickman. Bob Hickman's book, God Entered the Body of Bob Hickman as a Body Same Size, details his belief that he is possessed by the Christian Trinity. His possession has led him to the conclusion that God treats mankind very poorly, and he tries to communicate this perspective through his writings. However, Bob's writing is difficult to read, with strangely punctuated stream of consciousness paragraphs and HTML tags throughout. Some believe he is a scammer, while others think he suffers from paranoid schizophrenia. Bob's possession has been negative, with God torturing and abusing him. Bob does self-destructive things in an attempt to get rid of God, such as rubbing sandpaper on his face. He also claims that God hits him and keeps records of this on his YouTube channel. Gibbons Twins. June and Jennifer Gibbons were identical twins who grew up in Wales, known as the Silent Twins, due to their exclusive communication with each other. They had an idiosyncratic language that nobody could understand. Being the only black children in the community, they were bullied at school, which made their language even more unintelligible to others. They became increasingly reserved and eventually spoke to no one except each other and their younger sister. The girls continued to attend school, but they refused to read or write. They became catatonic and entirely withdrawn when separated. When they were reunited, the two spent several years isolating themselves in their bedroom, engaged in elaborate plays with dolls. They created many plays and stories, writing novels and poems in a sort of soap opera style, which involved young men and women who exhibit strange and often criminal behavior. In their later teenage years, the twins began using drugs and alcohol. They committed a number of crimes, including vandalism, petty theft, and arson, which led to their admission to Broadmoor Hospital, a high-security mental health hospital, where they were held for 11 years. June later blamed their selective muteness for their lengthy sentence. During their stay in the hospital, they believed that it was necessary for one of them to die, and after much discussion, Jennifer agreed to make the sacrifice of her life. In March 1993, the twins were transferred to a more open clinic in Bridgewater, Wales. On arrival, Jennifer could not be roused, and she died soon after of acute myocarditis, a sudden inflammation of the heart, with no evidence of drugs or poison in her system. At the inquest, June revealed that Jennifer had been acting strangely for about a day before their release. Her speech had been slurring, and she had said that she was dying. After Jennifer's death, June gave interviews, seeking to put the past behind her. By 2008, she was living quietly and independently. Kokogi. Kokogi, as the shadowy figure became known, was a mysterious entity that terrorized the Native American community living on the reservation. While some dismissed it as a prank or the result of too much alcohol, others believed that it was a supernatural being that had been summoned through an unauthorized shaking tent ceremony. According to eyewitness accounts, Kokogi appeared as a humanoid figure made entirely of shadow. It moved with incredible speed, darting around houses and knocking on windows in the dead of night. Those who saw it claimed that it had reflective yellow eyes that glowed in the darkness, and a mouth full of sharp, pointed teeth that it bared in a chilling smile. But Kokogi wasn't just a harmless apparition. Those who dared to confront it reported feeling a sense of fear and dread wash over them, as though they were being watched by an evil presence. Some even claimed that Kokogi communicated with them in a language they couldn't understand, whispering dark secrets and promises of doom. The residents of the reservation tried various methods to protect themselves from Kokogi, including smudging their homes and seeking the advice of elders. But despite their best efforts, Kokogi continued to haunt them, leaving them with a sense of unease and dread that lingered long after the entity had vanished into the night. Grey goo. The idea of grey goo is a chilling and bizarre scenario that explores the potential dangers of molecular nanotechnology. It involves self-replicating machines that consume all biomass on Earth while building many more of themselves, eventually reducing the biosphere to dust. The term was first coined by nanotechnology pioneer K. Eric Drexler in his 1986 book, Engines of Creation, and has since been used as a worst-case scenario thought experiment for technologists contemplating possible risks from advancing technology. The original idea assumed that machines were designed to have this capability, while popularizations have assumed that machines might somehow gain this capability by accident. According to Drexler, the term was popularized by an article in science fiction magazine Omni, which also popularized the term nanotechnology in the same issue. While Drexler has more recently conceded that there is no need to build anything that even resembles a potential runaway replicator, the danger of grey goo is still a useful construct for considering low-probability, high-impact outcomes from emerging technologies. It serves as a useful tool in the ethics of technology, requiring technologists to contemplate even extremely low probability events that may have an extremely negative and irreversible consequence. While recent analysis suggests that the danger of grey goo is far less likely than originally thought, other long-term major risks to society and the environment from nanotechnology have been identified. As such, embedding controls in molecular machines is recommended to prevent anyone from purposely abusing nanotechnology and avoid the grey goo scenario. The potential consequences of technological advancements must be carefully considered and weighed against their potential benefits to society. Metro 2. Metro 2 is a rumored secret underground metro system in Moscow built during Stalin's time. It allegedly runs parallel to the public Moscow Metro and connects the Kremlin with other locations of national importance, such as the FSB headquarters and an underground town at Ramenki. Although its existence has neither been confirmed nor denied, there is evidence pointing to its creation, such as the discovery of an entrance in 1994 and declassified archival materials. The purpose of Metro 2 remains a mystery, with some speculating that it was built for the leadership of the Communist Party in case of war. Monster with 21 Faces. The Monster with 21 Faces was a group that terrorized Japan in the 1980s by sending taunting letters and committing various crimes, including kidnapping and attempted poisonings of food products. Despite extensive police efforts involving over 1 million officers, no one was ever charged with the crimes. The group sent cryptic messages and provided some clues, but their true motivations and identities remain a mystery. Suspects included a man caught on camera placing poisoned candy on store shelves and a large, well-built man with fox-like eyes who eluded police multiple times. The case remains one of Japan's most bizarre and unsolved mysteries. Nevada Triangle. The Nevada Triangle, a mysterious region of the Sierra Nevada mountains, spanning from Las Vegas, Nevada, to Fresno, California, and Reno, Nevada, has seen the disappearance of more than 2,000 planes over the last 60 years. The area, which includes the top-secret Area 51, has been the subject of numerous conspiracy theories, including UFOs and paranormal activity. Many of the missing planes, flown by experienced pilots, have vanished under mysterious circumstances with no wreckage found. Some of the most famous cases include that of record-setting aviator Steve Fawcett, who disappeared in 2007, and Air Force Lieutenant David Steves, who reappeared 54 days after disappearing in 1957. The cause of the disappearances remains unknown, with some attributing them to the area's geography and atmospheric conditions, while others point to pilot error, turbulence, and disorienting terrain. Despite extensive searches, many crash sites are never found, leaving the Verde Triangle a perplexing and unsolved mystery. 1561 Nuremberg Phenomena. In 1561, a mass sighting of celestial phenomena occurred above Nuremberg, with witnesses describing an aerial battle followed by hundreds of odd-shaped objects moving erratically in the sky. A woodcut engraving and text by Hans Glaser described the event, which some skeptics attribute to a sundog. Carl Jung's mid-20th century writings analyzed the archetypal meaning of UFOs and interpreted the event as a natural phenomenon with religious and military overtones. Other historical reports of similar phenomena in Germany and Switzerland suggest that such events were a common part of apocalyptic thought during times of hardship and conflict. Operation Highjump. Operation Highjump was a 1946 to 1947 U.S. Navy mission to establish an Antarctic research base, Little America 4. The operation included 4,700 men, 13 ships, and 33 aircraft. Highjump's objectives included training personnel, establishing sovereignty over the Antarctic, determining the feasibility of bases in the area, and developing techniques for establishing air bases on ice. The operation ended in late February 1947, but rumors persist that the true objective was to investigate a Nazi presence in the region. The mission's commander, Admiral Byrd, warned that the U.S. should be prepared for an invasion by hostile planes coming from the polar regions. The crash of a plane during the mission resulted in the deaths of 3 crew members, and 1 seaman died in a ship unloading accident. The mission remains a mystery, and theories persist about what the U.S. really hoped to achieve. Pedro Mountain Mummy. The San Pedro Mountains mummy, also known as Pedro, is a mummy discovered in Wyoming in the 1930s. While mainstream science considers it to be the mummy of an anencephalic infant, its unusual features and small stature have made it a part of American folklore as well as ufology and cryptozoology. Another mummified remains named Chiquita, and found later, raised questions about a connection between the two, as they shared similarities and both had anencephaly. Some theorists believe that these remains are related to the legends of the Nuremberg, a race of tiny people who were said to possess magical powers, but were also depicted as violent and a threat to the locals. The discovery of these remains raises questions about ancient burial practices and beliefs, and whether there could have been a civilization of dwarfs in history. However, most experts believe that these remains were mummified due to post-death religious practices enacted by the native people at the time. Pittsburgh Protractors. In the city of Pittsburgh, an enigmatic phenomenon has captured the attention of locals and internet sleuths alike. Numbered protractors glued to various surfaces around the city. The objects are found in many neighborhoods, with one of the largest concentrations in the Polish Hill neighborhood. The protractors are assigned individual numbers that run into the hundreds, and the reason for their placement remains a mystery. Some believe the protractors are a celebration of Pittsburgh's famous bridges, while others theorize that they are part of an elaborate art project or the work of a renegade math freak. Still, others believe that the protractors were placed to encourage Pittsburghers to explore their city's hidden gems. However, not everyone finds the phenomenon as intriguing, as authorities consider the objects akin to graffiti and a crime. The protractors have garnered a devoted following online, with enthusiasts sharing photos, accounts of their encounters, and plotting their locations on maps. While some disappear and pop up in unexpected places, the protractors remain securely fastened to their surfaces with superglue, making their removal difficult and expensive for the city. As the mystery of the protractors continues to baffle and perplex, the true purpose and provenance of these objects remain a mystery waiting to be uncovered. Ricky McCormick Code. In 1999, Ricky McCormick's body was found in a field in St. Charles County, Missouri, with 2 coded notes in his pockets. Despite attempts by the FBI's Cryptanalysis and Racketeering Records Unit and the American Cryptogram Association to decipher the codes, the meanings of the notes remain unsolved. McCormick was a high school dropout and had a criminal record. He suffered from chronic health problems and was receiving disability welfare payments. There was no indication of a motive for his killing, and his killer remains unknown. The significance of the notes is illustrated by the FBI's belief that breaking the code could reveal the victim's whereabouts before his death, potentially leading to the solution of the homicide. McCormick's family members have stated that they never knew of him to write in code, and they question his capacity to craft the notes found in his pockets. Despite criticism and skepticism, the FBI has requested help from the public in obtaining the meaning of the messages, and a page has been established for comments and theories. Robert Golf and glass cameras. The world of remote viewing and astral projection has long been a topic of interest for governments and intelligence agencies. The United States in particular saw the potential for these tools in their efforts to gather intelligence on foreign enemies during the Cold War era. One program, known as Operation Stargate, used remote viewing and astral projection to collect intel on foreign assets and programs that would otherwise be impossible to obtain. However, even these methods had their limitations. The information obtained was often subjective and difficult to analyze. This led to the development of the glass camera, a recording device that could be used during projection. Robert Golf, a powerful psychic in the 1980s, was allegedly involved in this project. It is rumored that while participating in a remote viewing session, Golf died and his consciousness was drawn into the afterlife. According to reports, the afterlife that Golf experienced was sealed and classified, never to be viewed again. The reasons for this are unclear. Some speculate that the government wanted to control the narrative and keep the knowledge hidden from the public. Others suggest that the afterlife was something far worse than heaven or hell. Ron Legarski. The Southern Ocean is home to a bizarre and unsolved phenomenon. Hundreds of photospheres that are anything but ordinary. These images feature an office with an extensive computer setup, blurry and nonsensical scenes, and random product placements. Some even reveal unknown locations with massive libraries and more. It's Ron Legarski, the owner of 2 Google accounts at level 10 and 7, who's responsible for most of these strange images. With a vast amount of posts, Legarski remains shrouded in mystery. However, what's particularly puzzling is one photo showing an unknown logo tattooed on an individual, which is also prominently displayed on Legarski's Google profile picture. The truth behind these mysterious images remains unknown. Russian Cauldrons. In Russia's Ural Mountains, deep in the forested region of Komi, there is a bizarre and unsolved phenomenon known as the Russian Cauldrons. These strange formations are large craters, some measuring up to 100 feet in diameter, that seem to have been blasted into the earth from below. The cauldrons were first discovered in the 1980s by geologist Alexander Portnoy, who was exploring the remote region. He found dozens of these strange craters scattered across the landscape, all of them similar in shape and formation. Theories about the origin of the Russian cauldrons abound, but none have been proven definitively. Some scientists believe they are the result of natural geological processes, such as the collapse of underground caverns or the explosion of methane gas deposits, but others have more fantastical explanations. Some locals believe the craters were created by extraterrestrial activity or underground nuclear explosions, while others claim they are portals to other dimensions or the result of experiments conducted by the Soviet government. Adding to the mystery is the fact that the Russian authorities have been hesitant to allow further investigation of the cauldrons. In 1991, a group of scientists from the Ural branch of the Russian Academy of Sciences attempted to study the craters but were turned away by armed guards. Salish Sea Feet. Since 2007, a bizarre phenomenon has been occurring on the coasts of the Salish Sea, with at least 20 detached human feet washing up on shore. The mystery surrounding these feet has puzzled investigators, as they have not been able to determine a clear cause for the phenomena. Although the BC Coroner's Service has ruled out foul play in all investigations, the feet have been identified as belonging to individuals who died by either accidents or suicide. However, the detachment of the feet during the decomposition process remains unexplained. Most of the feet were found in sneakers, which the coroner suggests kept them buoyant enough to wash ashore, while also protecting them from decomposition. Interestingly, previous foot discoveries have been reported in British Columbia, dating back more than a century, and one was found in Vancouver in 1887, resulting in the place of discovery being called Leg and Boot Square. Despite several identifications, some of the feet have remained unidentified, and the cause of the detachment of the feet from the rest of the body remains a mystery. The media has given increased attention to this phenomenon, with many speculating about the cause of the mystery. The morbid fascination with this topic has led to it being featured in various novels, TV shows, and podcasts. Although decomposition and buoyancy might explain the detachment of the feet from the body, it still does not explain why only the feet are being found, leaving the rest of the body still missing. The finding of multiple feet in close proximity has been deemed unusual, with one police officer stating it has 1,000,000 to 1 odds. Shepherd's Monument Code. The Shugborough inscription is a mysterious set of letters carved on a monument at Shugborough Hall in Staffordshire, England. The letters are OUSVAVV and are located below a carving of a painting by Nicolas Poussin called The Shepherds of Arcadia. The inscription has never been fully explained, and is considered one of the world's top unsolved codes. People have come up with many theories to try to explain the inscription, but none of them have been proven. Some people think that the letters are a message from Thomas Anson to his dead wife, while others think that they may be a cipher that encodes the location of Spanish treasure buried by Admiral George Anson. There are even theories that the letters are a clue to the location of the Holy Grail. Despite the many theories, nobody knows for sure what the inscription means. Even the staff at Shugborough Hall remain skeptical of all the proposed solutions. They receive many claims from people who think they have solved the code, but none of them have been confirmed. Solar plexus clown gliders. This is a mysterious phenomenon that is said to infect people through their solar plexus chakra, causing them to experience intense psychological pain and hallucinations. The origin of SPCG can be traced back to New Age practitioners in the 1980s, but it gained notoriety in the late 90s due to a horror-themed email that claimed reading or hearing the words solar plexus clown glider could make one susceptible to infection. Some even claimed that viewing certain black and white images online could also cause infection. SPCG is not a physical creature, but rather an ephemeral entity that operates at the level of language and imagery. It is said to feed off of negative emotions such as anger, fear, and anxiety, which are associated with the solar plexus chakra in Hindu culture. The origins of the phrase itself are unclear, but some speculate that it was part of a CIA mind control experiment. Some believe that SPCG is an early internet legend, possibly created as a hoax or jump scare prank. However, it is also possible that SPCG is an example of digital folklore ostentation practices where individuals or groups act out folkloric scenarios to cement the idea of a haunted computer. SPCG was further influenced by sci-fi and comedy stories about mimetic phenomena that kill anyone who is exposed, such as the basilisks in BLIT by David Langford. There are several theories about the true nature of SPCG, ranging from an interdimensional demon to a military scientific project to create a brain-deteriorating weapon. American filmmaker David Lynch also wrote about a similar entity or psychic illness, which he calls the suffocating rubber clown suit of negativity. Stargate Project. Stargate Project was a top-secret unit set up by the U.S. Army in 1978 to explore the potential of psychic phenomena in intelligence applications. The project was mainly focused on remote viewing, the ability to psychically see events, sights, or information from a distance. The unit consisted of about 15 to 20 individuals and was run out of an old, leaky wooden barracks. The project went through various code names before being consolidated and renamed as Stargate Project in 1991. The Stargate Project was terminated and declassified in 1995 after a CIA report concluded that it was never useful in any intelligence operation. Information provided by the program was vague and included irrelevant and erroneous data, and there were suspicions of interjudge reliability. However, the project was featured in the book and film The Men Who Stare at Goats, although it is not named directly in either. The U.S. became interested in psychic research in other countries after getting information about experiments conducted in Czechoslovakia in 1975, where a team was supposed to store mental energy in biogenerators and use it to kill insects or induce dizziness in test subjects. The CIA and DIA decided to investigate this phenomenon, and various programs were approved yearly and refunded accordingly. The reviews were made semi-annually at the Senate and House Select Committee level. Feedback to the remote viewer was rare, and it was kept classified and secret. Remote viewing is an attempt to sense unknown information about places or events. Normally, it is performed to detect current events, but during military and domestic intelligence applications, viewers claimed to sense things in the future, experiencing precognition. Despite the termination of the Stargate Project, the concept of remote viewing continues to intrigue many people, and research on this phenomenon is ongoing. Sweating sickness. Sweating sickness is a historical enigma that has puzzled medical experts for centuries. The sudden onset of symptoms was unlike anything seen in other epidemics of the time. Cases of the sweating sickness spiked and receded very quickly and heavily affected rural populations. The cause of the disease remains unknown, and various theories have been proposed, but none have been proven. One of the most interesting theories is that an unknown species of hantavirus was responsible for the sweating sickness. Hantaviruses are zoonotic diseases carried by bats, rodents, and several insectivores. The epidemiology of hantavirus correlates with the trends of the English sweating sickness, and both affect middle-aged adults. However, infection via human contact has been suggested in hantavirus outbreaks, whereas sweating sickness was thought to have been transmitted from human to human. Another theory is that the disease may have been an outbreak of anthrax poisoning, which was present in raw wool or infected animal carcasses. Although the sweating sickness outbreaks stopped after 1551, a similar disease occurred in France between 1718 and 1918, known as the Picardy sweat. It was significantly less lethal than the English sweat, but with a strikingly high frequency of outbreaks. Toynbee Tiles. The Toynbee Tiles are an enigmatic and mysterious phenomenon that have been found embedded in the asphalt of streets in various cities across the United States and South America. These tiles, which are roughly the size of an American license plate, contain inscriptions that read, "Toynbee Idea and Movie 2001, Resurrect Dead on Planet Jupiter." While the origin and purpose of these tiles remain unknown, they have sparked the curiosity and imagination of many people. Some of the more elaborate tiles feature cryptic political statements or exhort readers to create and install similar tiles. The material used for making the tiles was initially unknown, but evidence has emerged that they may be primarily made of layers of linoleum and asphalt crack-filling compound. Articles about the tiles began appearing in the mid-1990s, though references may have started to appear in the mid-1980s. The Toynbee tiles were first photographed in the late 1980s, and their first known reference in the media came in 1994 in the Baltimore Sun, while others believe it alludes to Ray Bradbury's short story, The Toynbee Convector. Another interpretation is that the reference comes from Arthur C. Clarke's short story, Jupiter 5, which involves a spaceship named the Arnold Toynbee on a mission to Jupiter. Despite the mystery surrounding their origin, the Toynbee tiles have captured the attention of many people and have even been the subject of a documentary film. The tiles have been destroyed during regular road maintenance, but some still remain in various locations. The city of Chicago considers them to be no different than graffiti, while the Streets Department of Philadelphia recognizes them as street art and will save one or two of the Toynbee tiles only if there is a fast and affordable method for removing them. Ural Relief Map. The mysterious Dashka stone has captivated the imaginations of researchers since its discovery in 1999. Some believe that it is a map created by the architect of the world, while others are more skeptical, pointing out that the shell-based dating is likely flawed. Despite this controversy, it is hard to deny the incredible accuracy and detail of the map, which shows the Ural Mountains and a series of sophisticated engineering projects. What is perhaps most perplexing about the Dashka stone is its composition. Made of a cement or ceramic compound, diopside glass enriched with silicon, and a calcium porcelain mixture, the stone has 3 distinct layers that suggest a high degree of craftsmanship. The hieroglyphs that adorn the map have yet to be deciphered, but they are thought to be related to an ancient form of Chinese. While there is much debate about the true age and origin of the Dashka stone, it is hard to deny its beauty and intricacy. Van Heijst's lights. On the night of August 24th, 2014, a strange and unexplainable phenomenon occurred in the vast Pacific Ocean. As Captain Van Heijst flew a 747, 8 from Hong Kong to Anchorage, air traffic control announced major earthquakes in San Francisco and Chile, as well as a volcanic eruption in Iceland. With active and soon-to-erupt volcanoes along their route, the crew knew they could encounter ash clouds if any of these volcanoes erupted. While cruising at a comfortable 34,000 feet somewhere southeast of the Russian Kamchatka Peninsula, the crew saw an intense light flash in the distance ahead, similar to a lightning bolt but more intense and of shorter duration. Strangely, it was just one single flash, and there was no other electromagnetic activity, lightning strikes, within a radius of at least 1,000 kilometers before or after the sighting. Around 20 minutes later, the crew saw a deep red-orange glow ahead of them, illuminating the clouds and sky below them in an eerie orange glow. The closer they got, the more intense the glow became. The lights were much larger than an average city or group of boats and were red and orange, not the usual yellow and white of cities or ships. The crew immediately reported their observations to air traffic control, but they could not explain the lights. The photos taken by Captain Van Heijst went viral within 36 hours of being taken, and journalists and scientists began to investigate possible explanations for the strange phenomenon. One possible explanation is that the lights were caused by military activity outside of Russian waters, possibly a Russian naval exercise or weapon test close to the naval base at Petropavlovsk. The size and scale of the sighting are consistent with a massive military operation, and red lights are often used to illuminate military ships at night. However, the lights were too bright for ship illumination and would attract too much attention from commercial aviation at night. Another possible explanation is earthquake lights, a scientifically accepted side effect of earthquakes that occurs in various forms and colors. Massive seismic activities occurred before and during the time of the sighting, and both West Greenland and Alaskan official magnetometers sensed massive disruptions in the Earth's magnetic field. However, earthquake lights usually shine for only a few minutes, while the lights seen by the crew shone continuously for at least 30 minutes. Other possible explanations include a Japanese fishing fleet, bioluminescent plankton algae, a meteorite, or methane gas. However, these explanations do not fully account for the size, intensity, or color of the lights. For now, there is no conclusive explanation for the strange phenomenon witnessed by Captain Van Heijst and his crew. Vela Incident. The Vela Incident was a double flash of light detected by a satellite in 1979. While it's widely believed to be caused by a nuclear explosion, the exact cause remains unknown, and some information about the event is still classified. Some believe it was an undeclared nuclear test carried out by South Africa and Israel. The event was evaluated by a panel of experts who could not rule out a nuclear origin but determined that it was probably not a nuclear explosion. Despite this, questions remain, and there is no consensus on what caused the double flash. Verde Treasure. Forrest Fenn, an Indiana Jones-like millionaire, hid a treasure chest containing $6 million worth of gold, jewelry, and artifacts in the Rocky Mountains, and wrote a 24-line poem with 9 clues on how to find it in his self-published memoir. Over 350,000 people have searched for it, with some even getting lost or dying in the process. Fenn claims that one hunter was within 200 feet of the treasure, but so far no one has found it. Despite receiving death threats and complaints from his wife, Fenn is determined to keep the treasure hunt going.
Hey guys, make sure you like and subscribe for more videos like this. My friend Maker brings the best content, bar none. He fell deep in the rabbit hole on this one, so help him out. Yeah, what a trippy fucking world we live in.